Okay, welcome. Here we are. Oh my gosh, it's so great to see all of you. Thank you for coming. And this is going to be, hopefully we'll keep this within an hour. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen because we are all here to get healthy with the ultimate lifestyle transformation. So we're going to talk a little bit about the food part, not a little bit, a lot. That's what this whole thing is about. So let me go ahead and share my screen with you all. And if I didn't say so, my name is Rachel and I am your host today and I am your cook. So thank you for allowing me to be here. I have, grown up in a chef house. My sister was a cook. My stepfather and my mom owned a restaurant in North Beach, San Francisco, an Italian restaurant. And so I grew up basically the sous chef. I guess this is it here, you guys. I grew up the sous chef, and so I learned a lot about how to all the knife skills. I learned about flavor combinations. I learned about how to, what it really takes to make something really tasty and flavorful and what the mouth really craves. So we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about what makes a meal healthy. We're going to talk about oils and fats. We're going to talk about what makes a meal tasty. We're going to talk about substitutions. And I'm going to show you guys how to make voodles and zoodles, if you guys have ever heard of those. All right. And we're going to talk about kind of like how this goes with the protocol along the way. So let me just go ahead and move this. And here we go. So starting with, why are we here? Why eat healthy? One of the things that really bothers me is when I hear people talk about how they want to have retirement for when they're sick and they're old. And I think that we far too often think about health being something that we only have in our youth. And that is just not so. It doesn't have to be that way. We can age well. My aunt just died, actually my Lola, and she was a great aunt. And she died at age 98. She just slept. She was like totally alert, capable of moving around until the day she died. She was healthy till the day she died. And this is really what it's about. It's not about how long we live, but the quality of our life. And of course, I think most people want to prevent sickness. And of course, the better we eat, the more we have a chance of staying alive longer and having a quality life. And provided that, we don't have an accident or something else takes us out, but those things we don't have control over. So first of all, I want to talk a little bit about when you're preparing your pantry, you want to make sure to read labels because you eat what your food eats. So you want to make sure that your food is organic and non-GMO, all right? So you want it as much as possible, make sure that your food is organic and non-genetically modified. When your food is genetically modified, that means that they can spray Roundup, glyphosate on it. That means that they're spraying it with glyphosate, which is a toxin that destroys, wreaks havoc in the gut and causes all kinds of diseases to occur. A lot of, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, diabetes, all these different diseases have been on the rise as glyphosate has been on the rise over the years. So it's really important to read labels and to know what your food is eating. So if it's organic, you know it's not eating chemicals, right? For the most part, we know unless there's drift from a neighboring field, which that can happen too, there's definitely going to be less toxins in organic food. And if it's genetically modified, then it's already gene manipulated to withstand the spray. Okay, that means it's been genetically modified to withstand the spray of glyphosate. Okay, meaning it won't die. The crop won't die while they're spraying all the weeds. So they're spraying the crops and the weeds. The weeds die, the crops don't. You then eat the crop, which is genetically modified. So you're putting these weird genetically altered substances in your body, and you're eating the glyphosate. Two things you don't want to really eat, right? So take care. If it's organic, it means that it's not genetically modified. At least at this point in history, that's what it means. We have to kind of keep protecting that label to make sure that that the forces that are in power don't try to change the definition of organic, which it has tried many times. Okay, luckily it's still protected and it's not genetically modified technically. So some people talk about the dirty dozen, like, oh, I can't really afford to eat organic that much because, but what can I eat? So people talk about, well, you can eat avocados because it has a hard shell on it, and then you can take that shell off. You can eat oranges, and yeah, it's definitely better to have those things that you can take the peel off. But guess what? This stuff, this stuff goes into the ground. Here we go. Here's some genetically modified. There's some glyphosate right there being sprayed on a field. It goes into the ground and then it's in your food, like literally goes as the water's coming in and the plants are soaking up all that water. It's also soaking up all that spray, whether it's pesticides or it's glyphosate. Okay, so glyphosate is weed killer. Pesticides are a separate category. They're both bad. And so when I say there's no such thing as a dirty dozen, I mean there's no such thing as like only these things are toxic, right? So anyway, what to avoid? Things that have the most amount of this possible spray are wheat, gluten, corn, and soy. So we're going to show you how to make food today without those things. Okay, you're going to have an amazing dinner that doesn't have wheat, doesn't have gluten, doesn't have corn, doesn't have soy. Okay, we're going to just avoid these things for the next 30 days, for the next 90 days if you're on this transformation. And hopefully, you might even want to stay off them for the rest of your life if you want to avoid genetically modified ingredients, or if you want to also avoid glyphosate in your food. So I think that we've gotten to this place where pesticides, we're like, oh, it's not genetically modified, but that doesn't mean it doesn't have pesticides. So if it's organic, it doesn't have pesticides and it doesn't have GMOs. It's both. Okay. But if it just has the GMO, no GMO label, that doesn't mean it doesn't have pesticides. So you're not free, right? You're not like home free with that. So this is another reason why it's so important to cleanse. These toxins collect in our liver. All right. They collect in our liver and then we are stuck with them for the rest of our lives. And then eventually at some point we begin to have disease. All right. So we have, luckily you guys have biomedic in your pack. And biomedic is this beautiful probiotic, prebiotic, and plus biotic that reduces glyphosate by 75%. Okay, 75% in 6 weeks. That's what our studies show. That's what the Detox Project has certified, that biomedic is the one and only product that can remove glyphosate from the system. So this is part of your transformation, your ultimate lifestyle transformation. Be happy. You have done it. You're in. You're in with not just the cool crowd, but the clean crowd, the crowd that's going to hopefully live a lot more of a healthier life and feel a lot better as they get older. The CRP is C-reactive protein. That also went down by 74.5% over 6 weeks. So this is like, hallelujah. CRP is the bioinflammatory marker. So anybody who's suffering from pain in their body, any kind of chronic pain, their CRP is usually high. So you want to get that CRP down. All right. So a lot of people who've been doing this protocol for a while, they'll test their they'll test their glyphosate levels before and after the cleanse and are surprised at just how much that has gone down. And I have a PhD nurse who did this protocol and was really excited about that. For a moment, we're going to take a little detour because we're talking about why we're detoxing, right? So I just want to say for a minute, what does your skin eat? Okay. What does your skin eat? A little word about household products. So anything, I want you to get good at label reading. Anything that has the word natural fragrance on it, guess what the word natural fragrance is? This is an actual legal term that exempts companies from putting on their labels the toxic ingredients that are banned. There are over 500 banned chemicals in the United States, and any of those chemicals can be in this product that you're using on your body if it says natural fragrances. That is a law. That is a bypass. There is the trade secrets. That is part of the trade secrets industry. Okay, it's a trade secret. I don't have to list it. It's a natural fragrance. I have to list all my chemicals in here because it's a trade secret. Well, guess what? There are scientists who have reverse engineered different household products and found that they did have these banned petroleum products that were in things that we use on our body, or from our soap to our detergent, our laundry detergent. Gleneth knows, that's how Gleneth and I met. You can post in the chat about that, Gleneth. Our laundry detergent, our hair, shampoo, soap. Some really big brands that really are toxic are Tide, All, Clorox, fabric softener. Pretty much fabric softener has been linked to sudden infant death syndrome. So all these things you want to make sure that you're getting also biodegradable and organic. Okay. Here's some substitutes. Vinegar. You can use this to clean mirrors and toilets. Yep. Just a little vinegar and water and it works great, just like anything else. Lemon and baking soda, you can also use in toilets. You can also use on your kitchen sink and scrub it on the tiles. You can scrub it on mold. Lemon and baking soda, it's pretty amazing to watch it work. You put those two things together and boom, all of a sudden, everything is bleached. It is just as good as bleach, if not better. So needless to say though, we have all these toxins in our body, right? And so we need to get rid of them. So this is why we're doing a plant-based immersion. Okay, so during the next 30, 60, 90 days, you may choose to do all plant-based, or you may choose to do more plant-based than you have been. And why is that? Why do we want to be more plant-based? Well, for one, it's going to clean the liver. Why is it that it cleans the liver? So, when we have animal products are highest in fat, okay, you cannot separate protein from fat. So there is all this fat accumulated in the liver over a while, and then that causes your blood to be sluggish, okay? Because your liver is, think of your liver as the car wash, right? It keeps it keeps everything clean, everything, and the blood comes out the other side like a clean car. It's like, woo, hey, we're good, right? It just keeps everything clean, but that liver gets gunked up, and then pretty soon our blood is gunked up. And I have seen really slow cells in the blood, and just watch those little blood cells just move around very slowly, and they're all crowded, and they're like, it's like a traffic jam on the freeway. Nothing can get out. And if you have an ambulance that comes through, oh, good luck to you. Ambulances can't get through. Everyone's trying to move over. The ambulance can't get through the freeway. And that is like, that ambulance is basically your body trying to get rid of the toxins, the accident that's in the way, the accident that is like, that is clogging everything else. Okay. And so we need to clear the pathway. How do we do that? By cleaning the liver. Okay. What cleans the liver? Greens clean the liver. And by also reducing fats. Those two things are going to help your liver get stronger and better. All right. We're going to reduce cravings. We're going to change habits. When that liver is clean, your cravings start to disappear. When your liver is clean, your cravings begin to disappear. Who's experienced that? Drop me some words in the comment about your experience with having your, just reducing. I know my cravings disappeared. I was all about cookies. I ate healthy, but I was like cookies and potato chips, and those things just started falling away. So I say, add this good stuff in. If you add the greens in, your body will start to reduce cravings. Same with changing habits. Like once you've done something for 21 days or more, it takes 21 days to make or break a habit. We've all heard that. Okay. So we're going to change habits over this next 30 days. By the end of the 30 days, your habits will have changed pretty soon. Hopefully this lifestyle will have stuck. You'll be like, wow, this is easy peasy. It's not so hard, right? Easy peasy lemon breezy. Okay. What makes a meal taste good? Here we go. Let's find out. Well, let's talk about this. Oops, wrong way. Here we go. Okay, so we're going to talk about building a meal. We're going to start with the base of the meal, like the things that are hearty. When we're craving eggs, animal protein, we're craving like, oh God, I need some like dense food. We're looking for, what we're really looking for is dense calories. Okay. So dense calories these are healthy, right? Like potatoes, sweet potatoes, brown rice, oats, quinoa, legumes. Okay. These are things that are going to really give you a sense of being full and satisfied. And so these are great for the prep. So when you're on that first 10 days, you can eat these things. They're so good for you. Potatoes are totally misrepresented. Poor little potato. I wish I had a sad face for the potato because they have been grossly misunderstood. Anyone who's afraid of nightshades, hey, just do red potatoes. Red potatoes are not considered nightshades, okay? So sweet potatoes are not nightshades, so you're fine with the rest. These are very, very high in nutrients. And guess what? Your body muscle actually is built of nutrients. It's built of minerals and all these wonderful complex sugars, right? So you want to have these things in your diet, and they're totally healthy for you. So a good option if you're somebody who's trying to get rid of processed food, switch to brown rice, oats, quinoa. These things are very satisfying, and you can also, there's different crackers and alternatives that you can have that I'll show you later when we get to the cooking demo part. Okay, so next, let's talk about flavors and textures. So now we've got the base. What do we want to put on it, right? Let's say you just are gonna like steam some vegetables and then just do a savory sauce, or maybe you're gonna do some kind of sauce, right? Sauces are everything, because you can have the most basic, bland looking plate. It can be potatoes and broccoli. And you're like, that's it? Well, let's spruce it up with some sauces. And that's what we're gonna do later. So I'm gonna show you how to make a vegan, a totally delicious vegan cashew ranch dressing. Okay, so what is it? So our tongue, this is our tongue right here, right? Let's pretend this is a big old tongue. Our tongue has these different areas on it that have senses, right? One part of the tongue senses salt, another part senses sweet, and then bitter, acidic. And then we have like the tongue also likes acidic, and it also likes oily, and they kind of complement each other. The tongue likes salt, but it also likes sweet. They kind of complement each other. So anytime, whether I'm making a main dish or a dessert, I always make sure there's salt and sweet in there. Always make sure that there's a little bit of each, because if you're making a dessert and you put just a little bat of salt, it'll make that sweet and salt. It'll just create that contrast that the tongue will just love. If you're making a main dish, you've got like a dish that's like pretty salty, you still want to throw a little something sweet in there to kind of balance it. So we're going to look at some menu items later. I want you to keep this in mind and think about what here is being applied. Every dish should have a balance of all these. Every dish could have a balance of all these, from natural foods. You don't even have to add in, a bunch of oils to your foods, but you can, these are examples of things that are oily. Like we're going to make a dressing with cashews, right? I know you can make a dressing with avocado. We're going to talk about fats later, but you can still satisfy the oily tongue without being loaded with fat in your food. Okay. Salt. I'm going to show you some examples of salt, but sea salt is, I like to use Celtic sea salt. That's my favorite. Himalayan salt is also totally great and fine for the body. The only problem with Himalayan salt is there's a lot of destruction of salt mines, and it's actually just people are being very unthoughtful about it, and there's like a massive destruction of with Himalayan salt mining. So I prefer to use Celtic sea salt now, and of course table salt is just it's just going to rob you of your, it's going to rob you. So try to avoid table salt. It's just bleached, it's just processed food. These are examples of salts, frags, coconut aminos, miso. I try to find foods that have natural salt in them. Let's go over to sweet. These sweets are all really great for the liver. These are all things that are food for the liver and for the brain. So if you're always giving yourself, getting hard on yourself because I love sweets, well, you know what? Eat as much as you want. Just make sure they're made from these, right? Make yourself some desserts. Honey is amazing for the liver. If you're like a really strict vegan, then just do maple syrup or coconut sugar. We're going to do a dressing later that's going to have dates in it because I want to have that sweet salt contrast. And then cashews. Cashews are kind of a sweet and an oily. Some of these overlap. So savory, maybe you're going to make a savory meal and you're going to have, here are just some examples of making it savory. So there's just some flavor in there. Onion and garlic can also, are just great ways to flavor everything. I love putting them in absolutely every savory dish I make practically, either onion or onion powder. Okay. Garlic powder is not as spicy. But if you want spicy, put some straight up garlic in there. All right. Garlic and ginger are great together for all kinds of Asian dishes. I pretty much never unmarry those two if I'm making an Asian dish. Always have garlic and ginger. That's like the Filipino in me. Okay. So keep in mind of having all these flavors in here. And then of course there's textures and colors. But I put the nuts in the background to kind of give you a sense of textures, but we'll talk about that later. Color is a huge part of enjoying your food. So that's up next. So on the right side, I put that, color, our eyes eat first. Our eyes are drawn to color because it's our natural instinct looking for fruit on trees. So the eyes are always looking for color. That's why we like color. And so color means food. Color means fruit. All right, so you will make your guests want to eat if you have color on the plate. If you have a variety of color, it'll actually get your guests to really be excited to dig into that meal. I like to have a variety of color. And so these are different things that you can throw in there for variety. One of my favorite things to put in every salad is apples. I'm just kind of like apples in every salad. But, you know, this makes all these things can make, if you want to do like a roasted vegetables, you could do, you know, beets with tomatoes and onions and carrots, and then you have a bunch of color, right? So roasted vegetables are a great way to make a dish look really pretty and just very flavorful. All right, now we'll go to the left. Herbs and spices. So I've kind of grouped some examples of things that go well together in sauces. So starting with the top, mint, strawberries, and watermelon, like that's actually really great in drinks. So if you want to make somebody a delicious, you know, mocktail, throw those all in a blender together. And the watermelon will also have the water for it. So the water is like, you don't even have to add water. If you just put watermelon with strawberries and mint in and blend it, like, wow, you'll have a powerfully delicious drink. You could add some maple syrup to it if you want to make it even sweeter, and a little dash of salt. Always, right? I always put a little salt in everything. So garlic, ginger, honey, and peanuts. So just think of like a peanut sauce. This is something you might put in a peanut sauce, or without the peanut, maybe you just want to do these three things. Then you've got kind of like a sweet sauce that's, you know, for dipping your wraps in or your spring rolls in. Okay, so just, I'm somebody who doesn't measure. I just throw things together. And so I'm telling you that if you're somebody who's like, I can't live without a recipe, I want you to practice doing things by flavor. And I want you to have a spoon. I want you to taste everything you make and go, what if I put more honey in there? What if maybe it needs a little more salt? And experiment with just adding more things, and don't be afraid until it tastes well balanced. Your tongue knows. So you just want to wait till it tastes well balanced. So I put this in here, the cilantro dulce orange blueberries, because we're going to do a metal detox smoothie, and this is how you're going to make it taste good. So that little combination right there is how you're going to make the cilantro really balance out the cilantro and the dulse, the seaweed and the cilantro, which remove metals. The orange and the blueberries, and we're also going to put a banana in there, and I spelled blueberries wrong. That's all right. Oh, okay. I'm in the creation mode here. And then very Mediterranean is rosemary, oregano, thyme, tomatoes. Okay, I didn't have room for everything there, but just, you know, Italian seasonings right there. I like to grow all my herbs right next to my kitchen. If you're somebody who likes to have a garden, it's really great to have your herb garden next to your kitchen, because then you're more likely to use all those herbs and remember to use them than if they're out front and they're like far away. So in permaculture, we talk about zones of gardening. And so we want to have like, and you can group these things together. You can grow your rosemary, oregano, thyme together. They like each other. They grow well together. Dill, cashews, and garlic. That's like a great way to make a dressing. You can just throw those three things together and make a dressing for a salad. And by the way, feel free to take screenshots in case you haven't already thought of it. You can take screenshots of all these slides. And then we've got pesto. So again, Mediterranean, basil, fennel, cilantro, pine nut, and garlic all taste really good together. Now, I like to do an oil-free pesto. We're going to talk about oils in a minute. And you're going to find out why I have this thing about oils. So you can do basil, fennel, cilantro, and then the pine nuts is the oily. Like I like all my oily texture to come from natural foods, not from oils added. I don't like to add oils to anything. I want to add it with nuts or with something else that has kind of an oil, or avocado. Avocado is a fruit. To add other things in to give it that oily texture. Okay, because our tongue wants something kind of, you know, sumptuous, because we're humans enjoying this body. The last one, tahini beans. So this is clearly hummus, if you haven't figured that out. Tahini, any kind of beans, can be garbanzo, navy beans, you can get creative. Like you don't have to stick to the traditional how to make hummus with just like garbanzos and garlic and lemon. And you can actually do tahini. I mean, tahini is always tahini is a classic ingredient in hummus, but tahini, beans, garlic, lemon. Another thing I like to throw in there is red pepper. So you can like buy jars of roasted red peppers. You can throw something like that in for extra flavor. You can throw olives in there, all different kinds of things you can do with a delicious hummus. Okay. If there are any pressing questions, just come off mute because I can't see the chat. So I have no idea if I'm going too fast. All right. We're going to talk about substitutions. I feel like I missed something. I did. No, I didn't. Okay. Oh, it's coming up next. Okay. Substitutions. So let's talk about how to substitute. So, remember that wheat is one of the highest, has the highest level of glyphosate. Cheerios is the food with the highest level of glyphosate, and that's made from wheat flour. So we want to stay away from, wheat and corn flour and as much of those things. I know you guys love your corn tortillas. I do too. But guess what I've discovered? I have discovered potato tortillas. All right. Potato tortillas are totally grain-free, rich in all kinds of nutrients. And, the potato is only 150 calories. It's kind of interesting that like people, are so afraid of potatoes. Potatoes are really good for you. In fact, people eating potatoes often, who are looking for weight loss, like you could go on eat just potatoes for days and like lose weight. And people don't realize that it's the fats that cause insulin resistance. I'm not even gonna go there yet. That's in the next slide. Okay, but look at this. You can make pizza from potato flour. I'm going to show you guys how to make pizza from potato flour in a little bit. You can make tortillas from homemade potato flakes. Just 2 cups of potato flakes and 2 cups of water. Mix them together and then, like that, smack, 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 mush, mush. And then all of a sudden you've got your tortilla. And then you can just like cook it on the griddle. And I'm going to talk to you guys about cookware in a little bit. Breads made from gluten-free flours, rice, cauliflower, cassava, all these are good. Pasta. Okay, my favorite new thing is kelp noodles. I am like completely freaked out about kelp noodles. I cannot believe how good they are. I use them as spaghetti. I use them in ramen. And I am like, I can't even tell the difference. They are just so amazing. So I'm going to show you how to prepare them just right so that they actually taste good. And zoodles, all right? So we're going to make those later. We're going to make those later, the zoodles. Okay, vinegar, kombucha, and wine. So vinegar and wine, these things pickle, and even kombucha. Yes, they pickle the liver. The kombucha is allowed in the cleanse, but the problem is that people drink a whole bunch. And when I was in Ayurveda school, my teacher taught me that kombucha is like a medicine. If you're going to drink a little bit, you just want like a shot glass. You don't want to drink a whole cup. So, these things, even though they're like, oh, well, they're fermented or it's apple cider vinegar, all this stuff, it still pickles the liver. I'm sorry, but it's true. So here's some options. You can use lemon juice. So for those of you, is anybody completely in love with balsamic vinegar? If you're like, I cannot get rid of my balsamic vinegar, let me tell you, pomegranate molasses is the savior. Pomegranate molasses you can buy pretty much anywhere. Or you can buy it online, but this is like, definitely has that tart. You can also use apothecary juice as a wine substitute in cooking because it has that tart and that sweet. And so you can just, add a little bit of water like you would. And you've got your pomegranate and apothecary juice. You can even mix those together and kind of create like a wine substitute. For those of you who like alcohol or that bubbly thing, just get some bubbly water and add any juice to it. I don't care what juice it is, but that is going to be good for you. All juice is great for the liver, and that's what the brain lives on. Yes, there's fat in the brain, but the brain actually lives on like fruit sugar. It lives on glycogen. Okay, glycogen is broken down from both fruit and starches. Right. Those of you who really are like, I do not want to let go of my coffee. Hey, no one's telling you have to do anything. You get to do whatever you want on this cleanse. I'm not here to tell you you have to do anything, but there are some good substitutes. Okay. Dandy blend, it has a very tart kind of chicory flavor. And then rasa is and this is actually great for adaptogens. So rasa actually is helpful for your adrenal glands and can help restore your energy and your adrenal glands. So that's a good substitute. Why do we want to even substitute eggs and dairy? Like, why do we even want to take those out for this time? Like, why do we do 10 days without eggs and dairy? Well, for one thing, eggs feed all pathogens in the body. Anyone who's suffering from arthritis, that is the first thing I tell them. I ask them kindly with love to reduce and if possible, remove. So whether they're egg whites or the egg yolk, I don't care. It's all the same. Eggs actually feed every pathogen in the body. And so they will proliferate viruses. They will proliferate if you're struggling with a UTI, if you're struggling with arthritis, if you're struggling with chronic inflammation, even just by removing these things, these two things out of the body for a while, you might you'll, you know, in a few weeks, you'll start to notice some kind of difference. But it takes some people a while who've been on steroids to really get past that point where they're not in so much pain, because the steroids have been masking it. So when you remove the steroids, it takes a lot longer to become pain-free. So obviously milk, or we could say MYLK, milk. Oat milk is great. These are all great. Cashew, coconut, almond milk uses the most water in agriculture. And so if you're trying to be environmental, almond is probably the last one you want to go to. I do love my almond butter though, so can't help it. I'm going to show you some different kinds of cheeses later, and a different kind of plant-based butter made from cashews. And these are all like really healthy ingredients. So we'll show you how to do these replacements later. Like I said, egg replacer, Bob Mills, aquafaba, or bonzo bean liquid. Who's ever used that? Has anyone ever used aquafaba? It's such a fun word to say. I just want to talk about aquafaba so I can say it. But aquafaba, and it's just the garbanzo liquid. When you take the beans out of the can, what's left is the aquafaba, and you can beat that and it'll turn into this meringue. It's amazing. So it's a great substitute in cooking and baking. Oh my God, I can't believe I got past that. Okay, we're doing all right. Next, oily. Okay, so the sensual, I say sensual because in Ayurveda we talk about the rasa, the different things that we're drawn to, right? And like we all need a little bit of like self-love in our life and a little self-care. So that means we kind of are drawn to some, like, we want to have some oily, some fatty things. It just makes us feel good. And so how can we do that? So check it out. We've got avocados, cashews, and then oils. All right, the oils are the same. Check out olive oil is 1 tablespoon of each of these, and 1 tablespoon of olive oil is 14 grams of fat. But 1 tablespoon of avocado is only 1.5 grams of fat. What? Okay. This is why I like to use avocados in my dressings, or cashews in my dressings, instead of using oil. Okay. Now, why would I want to remove oils? So many people are saying like, well, oil, we need oils for our brain, but we know our brain does not run on oils. Our brain does not run on oils. In fact, I am a perfect example. I was struggling with Hashimoto's for 9 years. I was sick as a dog. And I tried everything. I was vegan for a while. I tried keto, not keto. I did paleo, which is like kind of, just lots of not worrying about my fats at all. And I just was brain fogged as all hell. And now that I don't even use oils, my brain is fully functioning. I'm feeling really clear, but also it's because I did Purium, and I do Purium every day. So I'm constantly detoxing my body, my liver, and my brain. Apothecary juice is great for detoxing the brain. So what do I mean by insulin, adrenaline factor, and pathogens? Okay, I spelled that wrong. Let's just fix that. It's too embarrassing. There, insulin. So fats cause insulin resistance. Okay, now a lot of people will say, well, like, well, healthy fats are fine. Any fats, whether you're vegan or you're a meat eater, fats cause insulin resistance. It's just the fats. Okay, and so long story short is we want to reduce our fats to a healthy amount. And like half an avocado during this transformation, you might do like a half an avocado or an avocado a day. Right? That's totally great, because we're not having any of these other things. We're not having these things. We might have some almond milk, but we're not having this every day. So we can have that. So fat causes the body to produce adrenaline. Adrenaline, it means you're causing your body to squeeze out adrenaline that it doesn't have, just like coffee does. So coffee and both coffee and fat makes us all feel good. We're like, oh, I feel so good when I eat my fats. Oh my God, I just love my chicken. Whew, why do I feel so good? Whoop, whoop, adrenaline, making you feel good. Like, oh, I got a little hit off that. All right, but it feeds the pathogens. So adrenaline feeds pathogens in the body. So we really want to reduce adrenaline. And so unfortunately, if you see the movie What the Health and Game Changers, you'll learn a little bit more about how we ended up how keto and fats ended up becoming such a thing. But one thing you want to know about keto is that eventually everyone ends up in pain. They end up inflamed. They end up in pain. They end up with their liver totally clogged and their blood totally sticky, and toxins can't get out. And eventually they're in inflammation. And so they have pain, inflammation, and they start gaining weight. Weight gain comes from a clogged liver. So that's why it's so important to cleanse so that all those toxins can get out. A lot of weight loss during this transformation is actually going to be from toxins leaving the body. When you have that rapid weight loss, a lot of it is just toxins that are finally finding their way out of the body because it's no longer clogged. All right, so that's why there'll be, a nice amount of pooping and peeing. I have to just say it. People call me the poop fairy. I just like to talk about poop. What can I say? Okay, well, let's talk about food though. Switching the subject. All right, here we go with the metal detox smoothie, ramen, potato pizza, vegan Caesar dressing. Okay, these are all things that are totally legit on this transformation. You can eat all these things on the lifestyle. You can eat these things on your prep. And I'm going to show you some ways to make these things. Now, I'm not going to bring you into my kitchen, but I'm going to show you some videos in a second. So we'll go to that. But the metal detox smoothie I'm going to make later, and the vegan dressing I'm going to make. So these are the two things you're going to see me make today. We're going to see a video on how to make the potato pizza, and I'm going to show you my favorite ramen recipe. So let's get right to it. The spirulina, the barley green juice, spirulina removes metals, cilantro removes metals, dulse removes metals, barley green juice kills viruses. Hello. Why do we need to kill viruses these days? I don't know. Might be a good idea. So load up on barley green juice. Okay, you guys want to have this every single day. And this, luckily spirulina and barley green juice are in your power shake. Okay, but I also like to have a little extra because I don't think anyone can ever have enough of this stuff. And I have this smoothie every single day. That's why I'm going to show you how to make it. Okay. So here's what's in the vegan. We're going to go over this stuff. We're going to go over this stuff. You're going to see. So let's just go right to it. Actually. We're going to talk, salads. We're going to make food in just a second, but here we go. This is the last slide. So salads. So obviously color is really important to me. In everything I cook, I try to add color. When I'm trying to go, what am I going to make for dinner tonight? I don't think what's going to taste good. I go, what's going to look good? I'm like, I'm going to do beets for the red. I'm going to do orange carrots. I'm going to do green broccoli. And it's good to have the rainbow because all of the different colors mean different vitamins. So your colors are your vitamins. And your flavor is your minerals. Okay, color is vitamins, flavor is minerals. So we want to have a variety of color because we want to, get the lycopene from the tomatoes and so on and so forth. And the anthocyanins from the blueberries and the list goes on. So try to eat the rainbow. One of the things I like to put in salads are flowers, borage, rose petals. There's all different kinds of edible flowers. You can look online and get an idea if you want to plant a flower garden, like an edible flower garden. But these are all great together. And then you can also have, I like to say, a salad soup. So when I say rustic garden soup, it's like the same thing you put in a salad, put in the soup. Just like add a little liquid and heat it up. And just remember to make sure that you add all the different flavors, that you go back to that list of savory, sweet, and you try to draw from all those and see if you can create a nice soup that just has all those flavors. All right. So when you're trying, you don't have to follow a recipe. You just want to follow the rule of all the different parts of the tongue, the palate. All right. You want to just please the whole palate. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go to some videos. How are you guys doing? Somebody come off mute because I can't see you. How's it going so far?
This is great, Rachel. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, cool. Okay. Well, feel free to jump in at any time and go, ooh, ah. Okay.
Ooh.
Thank you. I'm trying to get rid of these so you can see. Oh my God, there's so many messages. Okay, there we go. So we've got the ramen soup. All right. Now, this is actually a picture of regular ramen noodles, but I'm going to show you what kelp noodles look like because that's what I like to use. So can you guys see me on the screen? Let me stop sharing for a second. Let me just come to you because I kind of miss you guys. I haven't seen you the whole time. So this is kelp noodles. There's different brands, but it's really amazing. They're almost like rice noodles, only they're not so fragile. They're very hearty. And if you can look on, you can do like a YouTube search and see exactly how to cook rice noodles so that you kelp noodles. It kind of needs a certain amount of salt. So they use like baking soda sometimes to soften the noodles because they're kind of rough, right? They're firm and they can be a little bit too chewy. So you want to definitely soften them up. But in this recipe that I'm showing you, let's go back. this recipe here with the kelp noodles is, just imagine this was with kelp noodles. It's basically, if you look over here, what's in here, there's sea salt. And I've actually changed up this recipe to be healthy. So this is totally doable for your transformation. It's got coconut aminos in here. It's got bouillon. And then it's got some different kinds of salt throughout, all right? Different kinds of sodium. And so those things are going to help break it down. So when you put, so you want to put the noodles in early while you're cooking the sauce and the bok choy and everything else that goes in there and all the vegetables. You want to put that in early so that it can cook for a while in those salty things. And that's what's going to break down the noodles so they're finally the right texture. So anyone who's tried this recipe before, because I've posted it before, anyone who's tried this recipe and was like, oh my God, what the heck is she talking about? These noodles are awful. Just try it again and do it, soften those noodles with
Right. Do you sorry, I want to tell
do you
cut your stuff first?
Say that again.
Do you saute first?
You know, basically a lot of these vegetables I roast first. You're going to roast them in the oven first. And then you're going to, yeah, you want to do like basically roast, like there's carrots and broccoli, or the carrots and the cauliflower and the red peppers, you can like roast first. The bok choy, they just cook inside the dish. The things that you're going to saute are things like the garlic and the onion. And you always like cook the onion first, usually because the onion needs to break down and soften, and then it absorbs flavor. So that's why you kind of say like cook till the onions are translucent, then throw in the garlic and everything else, because you're breaking down the onion fiber so that it actually becomes more absorbent, and then it's going to absorb the other flavors. So you do saute some of these things first right here, and usually onion, garlic, and ginger you would saute, and then you can add in the sauce, and then you add in like the coconut and milk and the red curry, and then you can add in the bok choy and the broccoli a little bit later, so that you don't want them to be, you don't want anything to be overcooked. I like all my vegetables to be fresh. This here is a little bit overcooked. I like these to be a little greener. I like all my greens to be greener. I don't like to cook the life out of them. I want them to still be kind of almost alive. So I just do kind of more of like a blanch. So I put them in closer to the end, but the noodles I put in right away. So you can like put those noodles in as soon as you put in the coconut and all the other, the coconut milk and the all the different sauces over here. Okay, so I'm going to be posting this in our app. Okay, so it's already, for those of you who are in our Facebook group, I've got them in a Facebook group, but I'm going to put these into our Renew You app. So this recipe will be available. If you're not in the Renew You, ask the person who introduced this to you, and we'll make sure they get joined. Okay, so there's the ramen. This stuff is so delicious. Oh my God. I mean, my boyfriend said, would you please make this every night for the rest of my life? He's literally the kind of person who actually would eat that. Okay, got all these different things and all these different things. Sorry about that. This is a potato pizza. Hey, hey, potato pizza. So that's, instead of using flour and grains and processed anything, you can just literally make this from potatoes. Guess what? We're going to actually watch. Here we go. Let's hear what they've got to say. You can just watch this little video here and just kind of get an example. Whoops. Sorry. Any medical medium fans? You know, everything that's on his website. How do I get this to stop? Okay. Everything that's on his website is actually very goes totally well with all of our with our whole lifestyle. So anything, you can just always go to the medical medium blog and just look at his recipes, and everything goes well with what we make. So speaking of texture, I just want to give an example of texture. So this is a great example of really satisfying texture. People who are going to be craving that, you know, ground beef or red meat or any kind of meat, like you can kind of create that texture. That remember, again, I said that it's the body is craving dense calories. So you can create that here. This is like walnuts and like mushrooms blended together with some herbs and maybe a little vegan Parmesan you can make with by zesting, like using like a small grater. You can use what is that nut called? A Brazil nut. You can like shave a Brazil nut and garlic together, and it creates this like Parmesan tasting, delicious Parmesan. So you can blend those things together, and that also gives you your oily, right? So there it is. This is another recipe. This is stuffed mushrooms, which I was going to make for the holidays, but I didn't. Okay. And then I am going to just show you really quickly some examples of coffee replacements. So this is the rasa, that's what it looks like. This is the coffee replacement. And then this is the dandy blend, which has, you know, all the different herbs in it, and neither of them are caffeinated. Neither of them have coffee. And then, oh, well, this is our Renew You. These are actually all the workshops that we're offering. So definitely take a look in the app at the Renew You, or ask the person who invited you to give you a copy of this so you can make sure you attend all our workshops and make sure you know about mine next weekend. Now, how do I stop my share? Woo! Oh my gosh. Okay, we're not done yet, but we are getting close. So in these last 5 minutes, I'm going to make you an entire meal. Okay, who the heck knows what I'm going to actually do, but if you guys want to stay on longer and we'll do a little bit more, we'll see, but let's just see what we can get done. Can you guys hear me okay? All right, if you want to pin my 2 videos, then you can see everything a little bit better. Thank you. I've got my assistants. Here we go. Okay, can you see me? Okay, here we go. So first thing I wanted to do is I wanted to show you how to make zoodles. This is a spiralizer. It's like $35. You can buy it online. I always try to buy straight from the seller rather than use Amazon, but I know Amazon is more convenient, so whatever. This is a zucchini zoodle. So what I've done is this, oh, it's already started. So I just stick that in, that side goes on that side, this pulls in here. And then with this hand, I'm gonna there's actually a handle here, so I can actually push it that way. And then I just roll it. And it's pretty amazing how you start to have these beautiful little spirals. Okay. Look at how pretty that is. Can you see that? So this is like a thicker noodle, right? And then you can like cook this just slightly with some red sauce, or you can make like a vegan Alfredo, but you have different levels. So you can do like that. I can do a smaller spiral if I want with this, or I can have like a flatter spiral with this. So I'm going to take this off and I'm going to show you a different spiral setting. And that is going to be with the cucumber. So you can spiralize anything. You can spiralize a sweet potato. You can spiralize, which is actually quite good. A sweet potato is actually quite good. You can spiralize butternut squash. You just got to cut it in smaller sections so it's easier to spiralize. And, oh, I was going to do this other one. So I can pull this out. Don't make a liar of me now. For some reason, it is locked. Well, I guess I don't have to do that right now. You guys get the idea because you've seen it. For some reason, I'm not sure if I'm forgetting something, but I can't get this out. I can't get this out. All right. Okay, I'm not going to try. So anyway, so I've created my spirals, and so you can, do it with the cucumber or anything. The other thing I want to show you is how easy it is to julienne. Okay, julienne is making these like fine cuts. This is something that you can buy online as well. And if I go like this, whoops, you can kind of see how it's creating these little beautiful little tendrils, right? So now I'm making a salad. So this is a great way to just kind of dress up your salad. And then I like to put in strawberries. When I'm buying berries at the store, I always try to find things that are not in plastic. So, this is a nice cardboard box rather than, I prefer that over, and usually I won't buy berries in a clamshell that's plastic, I just don't even bother. I'm like, well, I'm not going to buy that today. So, but today I did because I wanted to show you guys things. Here are some examples of things that are great in salads that are plant-based. This is the most amazing mozzarella made by Miyoko's. All right. It's made by Miyoko's and this tastes like the real deal. And it's really great on pizza. So I wanted to show you that. This is feta. This is called BioLife feta. I love this. And you can see what it looks like here. It's kind of, it really looks like feta and it actually tastes like feta and it's unreal. So that's going to be great in my salad. And of course, like, you know, I like to have color, right? So a little bit of that. So it's now I'm starting to have like some variety of texture that takes care of my oily. And I'm going to have like a little bit of red, you know, got my little red. This is, you know, red onions. I love the way that looks. I also think it's nice what you put things in. Like, I think it's really nice to have, like this is a ceramic bowl that my friend made. I always love to buy things from friends. And so there you go. So we're going to make a dressing really quick now. We're going to make it, and also you can just throw some pumpkin seeds on there. A quick word about things like nuts. You want to store these in the fridge because the oils go rancid really fast. So you want to make sure that you're storing your nuts in the fridge. I like to put them in mason jars. Nuts and seeds. I've got pine nuts, and I've got these are also going to be in the fridge later. Okay, so we're going to make a quick dressing. So what I've done is this is a Ninja. I use this every single day. I use this for my juicing, making my smoothie, my metal detox smoothie, and I use this for also making my dressings. So the dressings, smaller amounts. So these are cashews, which I've soaked for, I don't know, for about an hour. Maybe they've been soaking for half hour. But 20 minutes is good enough. But I actually like to soak mine overnight. So I'll tend to have mine overnight in the fridge. And then you can just throw them all in. One of my favorite tools is this little lemon juicer. I'm going to use limes today. So I'm going to just juice some limes. So now I've got my sweet and oily, right? And then this is my acidic, right? I just kind of make sure I get the whole lime. God, I love this stuff. I'm going to do a whole lime. It's probably more than enough, but I'm really feeling it today. Okay. So now I've got my acidic. I could put the peel in there if I wanted, but I'm actually not going to do that today. And then I'm going to put I have a garlic here. I'm going to put a little garlic clove in there. And I've got two dates. So I'm going to take the little seeds out. You can buy pitted dates too. Dates are so incredible for you. They're also antiviral. Okay, these are really good for you. Dates are like fabulous food. So if you're like, I need a snack, I need something sweet, you can make desserts out of dates. You can make those little dessert balls. You can put dates in there, and it's good for you. And I always throw in a little pinch of salt. So now I've got my sweet and my salt, my dates and my actual salt, my sea salt. This is the brand I tend to get, Eden sea salt, Celtic sea salt. Could be Atlantic. Doesn't matter, you just want it to be refined salt. So what I like about the Ninja is it has a quick release. So I'm just going to throw that on there. I forgot to plug this in, I just realized, so give me a second. And I'm going to show you so you can see what the actual texture ideally will be. Hold on. I'm all backwards here because I've got it facing you guys. Okay, 1 second. While I plug it in. Okay. That's tight. Gonna be a little noisy for a second. good and creamy. Another thing I like to put in there is some onion salt. You can also put, you know, some oregano in there, or if you want to put some herbs, some spices, some different herbs in there, that's fine. But, you know, usually like I would add maybe some garlic salt and some garlic powder and some onion powder. But for time's sake, I'm not going to. Let's see how this looks. Okay, it just needs to be, it's a little bit too thick. It's a little bit too thick. So I'm gonna leave it on there for a little bit longer. I want it to be really smooth, and then it'll pour out. Let's see. Oh, that looks much better. Now it's almost like hummus. It's a little bit thicker. Let's see how it tastes. Oh my God, so good. Oh my God, that was perfect. You guys have to go home and make this. Let me give you an example of what you can serve things on. If you're looking for like something to, if you're looking for something that's instead of crackers to serve things on, like if you want to use that as a dip, sorry, just like get rid of the other layers. You can use like on the endive, or wait, is this radicchio? I always get them confused. But you can just like pour a little bit on here. So you can either like have the dressing on your salad, or you can even just like have that as like a little dip. Very good. Okay. Yes, that lime. From now on, I'm using lime. I can't believe how tasty that is. Holy cow. So delicious. If I were going to make another one for you, one that's good is like doing olives and pumpkin seeds. Blending these together makes a really delicious pate. All right. Anybody who's into pates, you can surprise them with sunflower and black olives instead of liver. Okay. All right. We're gonna make that delicious. The one that I make every single day. This thing is so well used. I can't believe it's lasted this long. This Ninja is like the most important tool in my kitchen, besides my juicer. So I'm going to throw in 2 bananas. Let's see if we go like this. All right, I'm going to throw in 2 bananas. And I'm going to throw in an orange. Oop, a whole orange. And some cilantro. A whole bunch. It's basically a cup of cilantro, but I'm going to put an entire bunch in there because to me that's a cup. A cup of cilantro. So this is a metal detoxer, right? So if you're constipated, and dulse, Atlantic dulse, all right? Just a tablespoon of Atlantic dulse. All these recipes are going to be in the app, but for now, I'm just showing you here. This is wild blueberry. This is wild blueberry juice, or you can just use wild blueberries. These are not wild blueberries. If you open up one of these blueberries, they're not blue in the middle, but this is wild blueberry. Dulse is seaweed. It's just another kind of seaweed. Seaweed is one of the best ways to remove metals. So all those people over there in Japan with Fukushima, they are like so stoked to have all kinds of seaweed. And guess what? Even if seaweed has been in a metal environment, it will not absorb it. It'll still remove metals out of your body, even if it's been covered in that. Even if it's been covered in metals. So now, Purium spirulina. I buy this every month by the pound, or whenever I run out, I buy it. So I'm going to do like a heaping teaspoon or a tablespoon. I usually build up to this. I don't usually like have people start with a tablespoon. You can like build up to it, but this is really great stuff. Okay. I'm putting all the rest because I'm at the end. I just ordered some more, so it's coming. Barley green juice. This stuff kills viruses. The spirulina removes metals. So I'm going to put about a tablespoon, heaping teaspoon of this too. What's missing? I did the berries, I did the banana, I did the orange, I did the cilantro, and I did dulse. I think I did it all. Sometimes just for fun, I'll throw in some carrot powder because I love Purium's carrot powder. And you can also make juice out of the carrot powder every day. Like I would drink this every single day. It's so good for you. All that beta carotene, if you have poor eyesight, drink this all day long. And the super xanthan, those two things together can help improve your eyesight. I've had people say they have had that happen. Let's go. Here we go. I can't wait to eat this stuff. Here's the salad. While this is blending, the dulse is like very thick and will make this thicken. And so it takes a while to blend. But I'm gonna I have these big old berries. I'm gonna throw these in my salad. And guess what? I'm gonna throw them on with what? The greens. You can eat that stuff. Why would you get rid of those greens? Throw them in there, right? Do it. You can do it. I believe in you. You can like challenge yourself to eat the greens of the berries and just throw that in. All right. And boom, you've got a beautiful salad now. And there's nothing like feta and strawberries. Oh my God. Wow. Feta and strawberries is so good. Sorry if I'm going over, but thanks for whoever's still left. I can't help myself. We're going to eat this together. Now, one of the things I love is my, what do I do with it? Here it is I love having these in mason jars. I drink all of my Purium stuff in mason jars. So I just throw that in there. Look how dark that is from the spirulina. That's the spirulina. That stuff is just gonna remove metals. And I love this green lid. I bought these on Amazon. I hate to say I supported Amazon, but I couldn't find them anywhere else. They're a little tricky to make sure they go on right. They can leak, so you just got to be really careful putting them on. But look at that. How awesome. Now everyone's going to go, what are you drinking? What's that? So if you want to have your Purium shake and be drinking the green so people can see it. Oh my God. So good. I can't even taste the seaweed or anything. Nothing tastes gross. It all tastes good. If it tastes gross, you know what to do. Right? If it tastes gross, you know what to do. You just add in the good stuff. Okay. And one other thing I want to show you is this pretty little cap. I always forget what this is called. But this is another thing you can serve as like little tacos. All right. You can like have this. You can like take off one of these little things. That one broke, but anyway, they make such nice little taco wraps. So you can put in your little filling with your little grilled veggies and whatnot and your little sauce. Right? And you have the little sauce that we made, our little vegan ranch dressing, which can also be an Alfredo on pasta or on your zoodles. You can take your zoodles, add some of that ranch dressing on, and actually it's like Alfredo sauce. And you can just keep tasting it until it tastes right. Maybe not put the lemon juice in there. Maybe you take out the lemon juice, just a tiny little bit of that, and blend that, and then that'll be great on your zoodles. So I think that's it. We've got our salad. I've got my metal detox smoothie, and I'm gonna make myself a potato thing. One of the things I was gonna say is if you're transitioning and you're looking for snacks, these are really good, but I just found out they had sunflower oil, which I'm not a fan of. So I'm saying no to those anymore, but those are like a transitional. If you're like, I'm gonna be hooked on crackers. It's hard for me to give up crackers. Do Mary's Gone crackers. I like this brand, Simple Mills, because their ingredients are very simple. All right, this is made with cassava flour, but I think they started putting sunflower oil in it. So I'm not eating those anymore. We're down to this. I don't know why, but I'm not, but I also want to show you guys the cultured vegan butter by Miyoko's. This is my favorite, this is my favorite plant-based butter. Okay, it doesn't feed any pathogens. It's all good ingredients. So let's come off mute. Let's have a little celebration because I just like finished my first cooking show. You guys were all part of it. Whew. How'd I do?
Girl, I'm coming over. I'm coming over. You need help with that.
Yes, me too. I'm coming.
I'll be there in a half hour.
Oh, good. I can't wait.
God.
How do I get to, how do we undo my pin so I can see everybody?
Fine.
Oh, there we go. Oh, now I can see you guys. Yay. Okay. What were your takeaways? Thank you so much. I'm glad everyone's coming over for dinner. I wish you were all here for the holidays.
I
Are we
just
still
want to know,
recording?
how do we get access to these slides? Like I was writing notes like crazy, but are you going
Yeah,
to
me too.
put them in the Renew You and the Mighty Networks?
I'll send them to you, Tal.
Okay,
But-
awesome.
Yes, please. Me too.
And me
Okay,
too,
good.
Rach.
Everybody's going to want them.
Yeah.
This video is going to be there, so you can take them off the video later. You can watch the video again.
That's a great
Oh,
idea.
thank you.
Mhm.
Your
But
juice
we'll-
is delicious.
Next week, what we're going to do is I'm going to, let me show you a couple things. This is a nonstick pan that doesn't leach metals. This is safe cookware. It's safe. This is made by Earth Life. So, or Green Life. I keep saying Earth Life. It's made by Green Life. Green Life is a brand that I trust. And also Salad Master, which is, that one's $99 a set. Salad Master is like $10,000 a set. So you choose. I have both actually, because I'm kind of like, I just love to cook. This is a really crazy, amazing cookbook. There's all kinds of meat dishes in here and I'm going to convert them. So next week, I'm going to show you how to take really crazy, amazing dishes and then just like convert them into something that's plant-based that you can use, because I think it's important that everybody learn how to convert menus so that it actually still tastes good, but you still feel like you're getting the satisfaction. If you're somebody who like really loves your meat, then you're going to want to know like, how can I satisfy that craving? So what I'm going to show you next week is how to make these and make them really healthy. These are fine Sierras. They're made with like powdered sugar and whipped cream, and they're like super decadent. I made them for Christmas, and my guests were like, they were like taking them home with them. I made so many and everyone loved them. They were like, holy cow, we're coming to Rachel's house every year. So yeah, so stay tuned for that. So that's what's going to be next week on the 22nd at the same time on the same channel on the Zoom room. So you guys can look forward to that. So any other takeaways? What did you guys learn today?
I learned that you're using like seaweed or miso and stuff like that for flavoring. I thought it was just for the miso soup.
Mhm. Yeah, I'd like to make a very delicious, I'll be putting in the app, I'll be putting a really delicious miso dressing that is to die for. It's miso, carrot, garlic, ginger. It's just like so tasty. And you can put that on roasted vegetables. It's really good. Yeah, cool. Thank you for saying that. Anyone else?
I have a yelling toddler behind me, but I wanted to say how well prepared this was. And this is just unreal. Thank you for your time and your preparation. I've learned so much. And so is my mom. Thank you.
Oh, I'm so glad. That's such an honor because Julie's an amazing cook. She always posts the most incredible dishes and the most incredible recipes, and she makes a lot of food. So thanks, Julie. Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and stop the recording and I'm going to open up to if there's any questions.
I have one more question.
Mhm.
When you say honey, like raw honey, usually it comes like really, really hard. So is there like raw honey that's soft that you can add?
Yeah, all the raw honey I have is soft. I mean, it's like, you can put a spoon in it and it's soft. Yours is hard, like you need a knife. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, like I need a knife. So maybe I'm just buying the wrong raw honey. You know me, I'm so new to all of it still, even after 5 years.
Yours might still have the honeycomb wax in it. You might be trying to cut out the wax.
Yeah, okay. All right, so I'll look for a different version. Thank you.
So good to see you here. Look who's here, Shanti. All right. Any questions? Any other thoughts? I hate to go. I'm like so excited to be here.
I do have a question, like on the recipes, are they really long? One of the stories I have is I buy all these ingredients and stuff and then I don't use them again.
I hear what you're saying. Like maybe you only need three strawberries, but you bought a whole carton.
No, like the spices too, right? Like I buy all these spices and then I don't know what to do with them.
I see what you're saying. So I'm all about building up. I've built up a spice repertoire. So I have all the spices I need and they last a long time. So I tend to use them again and again, but sometimes you can buy spices in bulk and just buy what you need. Like I think Oliver's, you can buy some spices. Everything's hard to buy in bulk these days because of the pandemic, everyone's afraid to have people's hands going into bulk bins. So now, but I know that at my local community market, I can buy spices in bulk and I can just take just what I need.
Can you tell us why you love those mason jars so much?
I like to be able to see what I'm drinking and eating. I just love to see through them. And I love that they're big because I make a lot. I make a smoothie fits in here, right? When I've made that whole smoothie, that's all the ingredients actually fits in here. And I like the convenience of this lid. It's just so nice, you know, to be able to drink. So I can drink out of the mason jar. I liked it to be able to see it because people ask me what I'm doing and then I can introduce them to this.
Yes, it's hard to see through the Purium cup.
Mhm.
Yeah. Another question that was in the chat early on from Andrea was avocado oil. Is that okay?
Yes.
So let me show you something. Give me 1 second. No matter what the oil is, you can do a water saute. Sorry, things falling over. You can do a water saute. And so you can saute vegetables with water, or if you have a good nonstick pan like the one I have, then you can saute it without anything. You don't even need oil. But if you wanted to do oil, I just say use a little bit. So when I even use coconut oil, like for my roasted vegetables, I'll just spray them with oil rather than like cover them with oil. Okay, so it's really, again, still in like quantity. You still want to have low quantity. Avocado oil is one of the better oils. Avocado and coconut oil. Coconut oil is the #1 best oil because everything coconut, whether it's the water, the coconut meat, or the coconut oil, everything coconut enhances all the nutrient products. Enhances all the nutritive properties of everything else in the dish. So coconut actually is an enhancer. It's like the opposite of mold. Mold amplifies every toxin there is. Coconut enhances every nutrients there are. Is that right? My grammar.
Hey, Rach,
Yeah.
what was that cookware you mentioned besides Salad Master?
So this is called Green Life.
Okay, thank you.
And I did the taste test on it with the what do you call it? The baking soda test on it, and it worked, and it was like not gnarly. So I was like, okay, this is decent cookware. I heard about it through Medical Medium's website. He suggested it, and so then I did a taste test on it, and I said, yeah, seems pretty legit. Your family doesn't like
Rachel,
coconut?
what's
use
the baking
avocado.
soda taste test?
Where you can test your cookware to see if it's leaching metals, which pretty much everything does, especially iron cookware, like cast iron. It's like the worst. But you want to take like I think like a tablespoon of baking soda and like a half a cup of water, and you just put that in your pan and you boil it, and you just let it simmer for like 4 minutes. And then you take a little teaspoon and then you taste it. You can don't put it in your mouth because it's so gnarly. You won't even be able to do that. You just touch your tongue to it, just barely touch it. And you'll be like, whoa, that is so gnarly. And so that's how you can tell, like, if you're like, you know, how much your metals are coming, because those metals have a chemical reaction with the baking soda. And so then you taste it. But like, you know, it tasted pretty fine when I did. It was altered a little bit, but I could tell that it tasted good enough with the Earth Life that it didn't bother me.
Okay, thank you.
I have to say that for my birthday present I asked from my family for all new cookware. And so they bought the whole line, everything that Medical Medium had suggested. So I have like tons of, you know, baking platters and, you know, the pots, the pans, the whole thing. And I have to say, it actually makes my food taste better. Like it actually changes the way that the food cooks and the way it tastes. So
Isn't that amazing?
I'm a fan.
It's
Yeah.
really true.
And it's super easy to clean too.
Cool. I wanted to actually, wait, what view am I in? Here we go. I wanted to actually go to this page here that I created for you guys and I forgot to show you, which was recipe resources. So I wanted to really suggest that you guys, Fully Raw Christina has a YouTube channel where she makes all kinds of delicious things. Not that you want to be all raw, but you know, if you there's all kinds of great sauces and salt and dressings there. Medical Medium blog recipes, and then Game Changers, the movie is really great, and What the Health movie is really great. And I forgot to also show this. Just these were, you know, supplements, which we talked about these along the way, but here's some great drinks: Cocoa Hydrate, Aloe Digest, can't beat this. These are all great served with a meal. So you can have these as complements to your cooking by serving these up at the dinner table. And that's it. So it's a wrap, you guys. I think that's it. Anybody have any other last things?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. This is going to be on my YouTube channel, so I'll be posting it in the groups. And thanks all for your time. I hope that you're all inspired. And send me pictures of your cooking if you make anything that you're using, where you're applying these principles. Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thanks for
Thank you,
inviting me,
Rachel.
Rachel.
That was great, Rachel. Thank you.
Super awesome.
Oh, here, wait. Let's take a picture. Hold on. How do I do this? Hold on. I didn't mean to do that. I wanted to do. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Hi. Okay, good. Thanks, you guys. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.